Hello, welcome back to another CEH. I am Stormwind Studios instructor and Cybex author, William Panek. Thank you for joining me for another hour of training. Okay, so just as important as the security that you're going to put on your network, your firewalls, you're making sure your NAT, your Wi-Fi, your intrusion detection systems. One of the things that's also just as important is the physical security of the building. That can be just as important as the IT part of the data security of the building. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the different ways. And again, everything I'm showing you here is going to be on the test. They are going to talk about fencing, yes. So, I mean, that's why I'm going through all this stuff. But you have to also understand that besides the IT data part, we also have to make sure we cover the physical part. Now, real quick, during the break, we were talking about Dragonfly. We were talking about all the different stuff beforehand. During the break, Luke put up a little comment, and I'm going to read it real quick. And the only reason I'm reading this is because people who are watching the video cannot see the chat. The chat doesn't get recorded with the video. So, just for everybody who's watching, it says, in 2019, I'm not even going to say these two people, but two individuals who co-authored the crack attack released an analysis of WPA3's Dragonfly handshake and found that an attack with a range of victims can still recover the passwords, and that the bugs found allowed an adversary to impersonate any user and thereby access any Wi-Fi without knowing the actual person's password. So Luke put up a little information about, because we were talking about Dragonfly before, so I just wanted to just read that for everyone. So again, as I said earlier, nothing is bulletproof. Anything can be hacked, okay? So you want to make sure that you also try to do the best job, though, physically. All right. Now, I don't think I'm going to actually teach you anything in this section that you don't already know, but just bear with me. So first off, securing the perimeter. Obviously, this only affects you if you have your own building. If you're in a high-rise with 50 other companies, securing your perimeter is probably not going to be your concern. But if you have your own building, then you have to make sure that you secure the outside of that building. Lighting. Boy, I cannot tell you enough about lighting. Barriers. Either natural or fencing or some kind of barrier. And then obviously some kind of monitoring or camera system. Okay, I'm going to talk about my last company. When I was the IT director at my last company, we got robbed. We had our building, and then behind the building, we had a huge fenced-in area where we kept all of our vehicles, and, you know, it's a big area. This is obviously the scale, but it was a big area. We came in one morning, and someone had broken in and stolen a bunch of the tools and equipment out of our building. So when we tried to investigate to figure out what was going on, we found that over here, there was a cut in the fence. Come to find out, that fence had been cut for a while. Now, let me preface all of this by saying this. Everything I'm about to tell you is 1,000% my fault. Me, personally, Will Panek. Because part of IT's job is building security. And I'll be honest with you, I had no idea the fence was cut. It's my own fault. Now, no one said a word to me. The company didn't blame me. No one even said a word to me. But as soon as I saw that cut in the fence, the first thing I thought to myself is, Will, you're an idiot. You should have checked this. If I would have just took a walk once out on the building perimeter, I would have seen it. Now, that was also a dead giveaway, though, because on the other side of the fence was a forest. So the question we started asking ourselves is, how the hell did anybody even know that fence was cut? Unless they were an employee. Sure enough, pulling up the camera systems with all the lighting we had, it was an employee. Okay, and they got nailed. Now, one thing we did do right, didn't always screw everything up, but one thing I did do right is after we set the cameras up, we went out at night and walked around the building and made sure that we were visible everywhere we wanted to be on camera, and that you could see their face, that we had enough lighting. That we did. So when we caught them on camera, we had them. I mean, there was no doubt about it. But I didn't check the fence. It's my fault. So that's the reason I'm saying this. That is your responsibility. IT people, unfortunately, it's just our job. We are in charge of building security. Listen, in IT, we're basically in charge of anything that's got a cord. You know, I always tell this story. I was walking out to lunch one day, and there was this really nice young lady who was working as a receptionist. And she said, "Hey, Will," she said, "I'm having a problem with this machine." And the machine was a paper folder. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that. You stick paper in it, and it folds it in 3 ways so you can shove it in an envelope. Okay. It was jammed up. She goes, "Can IT fix this?" What do I know about a paper folder? But I said, okay. Listen, it ain't mine. I'm willing to try to fix anything. I don't own it. I took it apart, and I got it fixed. Now, the funny thing is, I did honestly end up with a bag of supplies when I was done. I had no idea where this stuff went back. But it worked. I put paper in it, folded it. I was like, okay, this is good enough. I'm going to take the win and just... But in IT, the point I'm trying to make is in IT, anything that falls out the normal jobs falls under us. If it has a cord, it's on us. If it's building security, it's us. If a door is broken, it's us. It's just the way it is. And I understand that as an IT director. And I didn't check the fence. My fault.